Hey everybody, it's your favorite gal pal, Scarlett Syanide, and welcome to another episode of Scarlett Cyanide's Sit and Sip, the show where we grab a seat, take a sip, and get into it. Today we have the most iconic episode of RuPaul's Drag Race to talk about in general. Maybe not this episode being the most iconic version of it, but the most iconic challenge for sure, which is Snatch Game. I don't know about you, but I was like really gooped and gagged at some of the decisions today. So I cannot wait to get into all of that with y'all. Before we get into that, thank you so much, Emily L. I truly, truly appreciate your support. If you want to support the channel, besides for liking and subscribing, which is still the number one best way to support the channel, you can send me a tip on Venmo or CashApp at Scarlett Syanide, $ Scarlett Syanide, all of that. And then I have my PayPal QR code for my international folks up above. I actually had really exciting news this week. Y'all, we have reached the amount of subscribers and the amount of viewing hours for me to be able to apply for the very first tier of being a YouTube partner. So like, oh my God, it's happening. So I just really can't thank y'all enough. And honestly, I just wanted to be like transparent and share that with y'all, that you guys joining me here every single week for Sit and Sip is really truly making a difference, and I'm just so excited to bring you even more content. Stay tuned. Now, before we get into the week, I was, watching and doing the reactions, filming my reactions as I was watching Snatch Game. My partner, Jordan, was sitting off camera and also watching the episode with me. They mentioned that they had thoughts, feelings, and opinions about the episode this week. Is right around Valentine's Day here in the States. We're actually filming this the day after Valentine's Day. And I just thought it would actually be a perfect time to introduce my partner to y'all and see how they felt about Snatch Game on season 17. So I wanted to introduce you all to my beautiful, lovely partner, Jordan.
Ooh.
I'm magic.
Ooh, magic.
Ah, welcome.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
That was different. I liked that.
I am so excited that you agreed to be on Sit and Sip. So welcome to Sit and Sip.
I'm very excited too. My Drag Race knowledge isn't as expansive, but I've still watched for a number of seasons, so I think this will be good.
Yeah, absolutely. You have more recently gotten into watching Drag Race, but it's we all know Drag Race, it's like once you start watching it, you're like hooked.
Yeah.
The bug gets you. So congratulations, you've been infected.
Yeah. And it's similar enough in style to wrestling in very many ways that we've discussed. And maybe we'll discuss on here.
Yeah. This could be a topic.
But it's just very easy to get sucked into.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Well, I'm so excited, and we are going to get right into the episode. So, but first I got to ask you, Jordan, what are you sipping on? What's everybody sipping on today?
Just got some dumb bitch juice.
Okay.
That's what I always be sipping on,
Like you're the dumb bitch. Can we say that? Ooh, bleep, bleep. Yes.
Yeah,
I love that.
No, I was referring to me.
Hey, as long as that's your juice over there.
Yeah.
Speaking of dumb bitches, we are going to get right into season 17, episode 6, the Snatch Game, or Work the Game, I think is the official.
Work the Game.
Yes, is what the episode was called. All right. So we start out with Hormone Alyssa. Hormone Alyssa has finally sashayed away, and the girls were not shy in actually just being very blatant with. They were very glad that she had left. There was a few girls that were extremely vocal about it. Miss Corey King,
she was laughing. She couldn't even get out most of the things she wanted to say because she was too busy laughing about Hormonal Lisa being gone.
Exactly. Now, how have you felt about Hormonal Lisa this season? Because, like, I've been on the record of being like, you know what? Fashion-wise, she hasn't been my favorite, but overall, I really enjoyed her, and I honestly kind of missed her in the Snatch Game. How have you been feeling?
You know, what's weird is she occupies a drag race, definitely a drag race, drag queen type that I like, which is for lack of terms, the reserved country girl.
Okay.
Now...
She was that. She was that.
Not in the, traditional way that you might picture, but she was totally that. Which I felt like you encapsulated so well when you said, "Oh no, not my values," which still plays in my head quite often.
Oh, I love that.
So to me, Hormonal Lisa was the girl who's like, "Oh no, not my values." That girl never lasts that long either.
Oh, there you go. You heard it here. But that's accurate so far.
I'm sure there's exceptions if people want to say something, but...
I want to know, how do y'all feel about Hormona Lisa going home? I'm going to miss her. I will say, Hormona Lisa may be gone from the workroom. She's in our hearts, but she did leave a key piece of her behind. She left the legendary bob. So she just has these bobs floating around because she left the bob... She left the bob in the workroom, and now the bob, is it the same bob that's at Roscoe's Tavern? Is this a different bob?
It's definitely a different bob, because when I was watching it, I was noticing that bob had a lot more black streaks in it than the bob we most think of.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
I just wanted to rat her.
Damn. Maybe it needs to be washed, she said.
Yes, take a sip. The girls also... They swung really big. I feel like a lot of the girls they were trying to maybe have the vague idea of swinging big when it came to their Snatch Game characters. We got to not only see them have the walkthrough with Ru, but we got to have Alyssa Edwards.
That was pretty cool.
Yes, come back, and honestly, she got a ton of airtime.
Yeah, she did.
She did the workroom walkthrough. She was then, of course, a guest with an AI butt plug.
Yeah.
On Snatch Game.
Which I was surprised they said that was her first time being in that position. I'm being over on that side of the dais. To which she said, yes, it is, and it feels correct.
Yes.
So, absolutely.
She's got that wit. She's got that, quick wit, and... she was giving good advice, I thought, in the workroom to the girls. Alyssa might not have one clue of who the character is that she's doing, but she just does it so over the top and infuses her own humor and her own personality into it so well that very often it's annoyed the girls. Speaking of being on your nerves, Alyssa's gotten on the nerves of girls before when she's competed because no matter what she does, the judges are like, oh, you're Alyssa Edwards. It's so funny. And that would have helped a lot of the girls today.
But I'm also remembering the time she was Katy Perry, and I feel like maybe that didn't happen as much.
Okay, yeah.
Because that one was rough.
The original, you're right. You are so right. The original Snatch Game, it's still a very iconic moment. So you're right. She was in the bottom for that, but it's still an iconic moment. So they get to come up to talk to Ru and Alyssa once again in small groups. These interactions were all over the place. Ru was really out there today to just
full of the chickens.
Stir the pot. Yeah, full of the chickens, and like you said, the caffeine enemas potentially.
Potentially a caffeine enema because there is a very specific Ru that comes into the workroom like that. It generally ends up with twerking, a lot of
She does twerk.
I'm not gonna lie. She'll make some jokes that are questionable, but you know that she's the boss and you gotta laugh.
She's got the big check at the end of the day. I love that combination of Ru and Alyssa's energy. I think they're very funny together. And I think Ru, she was maybe geared up from being backstage with Alyssa because Ru was like, offer a lot of suggestions today. Let's talk about some of the more interesting RuPaul interactions with the girls. The first three were Anya Nerve, Lydia B. Collins, and Lexi Love. With Anya, she knew right away, I'm going to be Eddie Murphy. She had a very clear character. But Rue decides, she's like, you know what? You look like Barry White's wife. And so have you ever considered being Glowdine White?
So I loved this because it also made me think caffeine enema.
The more we know about Anya is, we know Anya is very sure of who she is as a queen, who she is as a performer.
Yeah.
And she knows her references. So she's like, no, I don't know who Glowdine is.
Yeah.
I'm going to be Eddie Murphy. Thanks for the suggestion. But no. And I thought that was obviously a great choice.
Great choice, because she was so funny.
Yes. Whole build up and like conversations in the workroom and just the confidence was that Susie Toot was going to slay this challenge down, like boots the house down, mama, by being Ellen Green.
Everybody needed to strap in because she was just going to destroy them. Just gonna
destroy everybody. I'm like, are you giving Ellen Green? Are you giving Audrey from Little Shop of Horrors? There wasn't enough clarity in this character, and she was saying that she was giving very like subtle, deep cut references and stuff like that, but
no. She was mumbling.
We definitely have a few awkward moments, and these should have been warnings. These should have been warnings for the girls anyway. But we had Arietti say, I'm going to be Cupid because I'm a baby.
And then that was the full explanation, is that I'm a baby?
Yeah, that was the full explanation, was that she's a baby. And there was definitely a piece of whatever Arietti was channeling or trying to channel. People just were not getting it. It was just kind of giving more of an awkward energy than anything. A very clear problem to me is that both Arietti and Lana, they just didn't have a clear point of view or direction for their characters.
No, not at all.
And there was, some people were doing that character study and were bringing you almost this like fully transformed out of body, almost experience of like, wow, they were really that character. But Lana, Arietti, and a few of the other girls too, it seemed like they didn't know where they were going with their characters.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Actually, I remember you saying it so perfectly about Lana, though. Like you said, girl, you can't step up with one joke.
Okay,
because
yes.
She fully, and by her own admission, only had the one joke.
Right.
And then literally couldn't even roll with the fact that she had to switch from, punchline to setup or setup to punchline, whatever it was.
Right, exactly.
She had to switch because Rue started making the joke, and it completely freaked her out, and then she said that she closed and stopped doing anything.
Yeah, I know. That was odd to say, I'm going to do Rosa Parks, which is already like, an edgy choice.
Yeah.
But
especially
have not.
when she seemed like she knew very little.
Yeah, exactly. She didn't. It was just very much like a shock reference or something. I was surprised that she just seemed so unprepared. Same thing with Arietti as well. And honestly, I don't know if Susie was I guess over-prepared or under-prepared. I didn't really understand what the issue was going there, but I think it was maybe the opposite with Susie. Susie had thought about it too much, where she was now like hyper-focused on all these things that didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the successes of the Snatch Game. So, of course, Anya Nerve as Eddie Murphy was
amazing.
So
funny.
Spectacular. Could play Eddie Murphy in like a biopic, like a documentary about Eddie Murphy. I feel like it was so good.
It was extremely funny. It was
Yeah.
extremely funny, very accurate.
Yes.
Clearly, they'd been a fan for a very long time. Because also, Rue tried to softball them some just basic Eddie Murphy references. They didn't miss a single one.
Yeah, they got them all. Yeah, Rue really does try. She really tries to be like, here's a very obvious setup. Let's see if you can at least do that. That's kind of the...
She didn't miss a single one.
Test.
She clearly really knows her Eddie Murphy. So while she said she's never done him before, I'm sure she's done something like this, even if it's just for herself
like in
and her
jest.
friends.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like how people just do impressions. Yeah, quite
just
possibly.
maybe she hadn't done it on stage before, but it was clearly pretty polished act.
Right. Oh my gosh, so good. Now, another top was Jules Sparkles doing her original character, because original characters can absolutely work if you just really go all the way with it and you've thought about some things. Jules Sparkles was, of course, Miss Bigfoot. Don't you call her a Sasquatch? Oh my God. Speaking about somebody who didn't miss a beat.
No.
Any little joke, any little thing that Rue could like toss down there, she was like hitting it back. Oh God, why is sports? But it was just amazing. When Rue said, how much do you pay for a pedicure? She goes, oh, that's not a pedicure.
That's blood.
That's blood.
That's blood. That was very funny.
Oh my gosh, she is just so flippin' smart. Jules is just a superstar.
Yeah. I absolutely think she's like she wasn't the big name in this episode, the big focus in this episode, but like we're going to be seeing her for a bit, I think.
Oh my gosh, for sure. It's interesting that you said that because personally, when I watched everything all together, I actually I wasn't sure who was going to win. I knew it was between Anya and Jules, but I was not sure who was going to win. Did you have any premonition of who you thought was going to be in the top and who won and everything?
It actually, like, everything, a lot of the stuff really threw me. As much as I loved Anya Nerve's look, I didn't think she was going to win. I actually did think it was going to be Jules. Yeah. No, I actually agree with you. With the reception of the Bigfoot, Miss Bigfoot, I actually thought that Jules was going to win. And, Anya has had a win before. And so, I don't know, it just kind of made sense. Like, Jules hasn't had a win yet. I don't think. Oh, God. I'll double check that. But I thought that this was going to be Jules' week. That Jules was actually going to get the win. I thought so too. And everything in that episode being the same, if those choices were made instead of what happened, I think I'd be fine with it.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with who won. I think it all made sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Who won, who was safe, everything.
Definitely. Yeah, no, and you brought up Anya's look. I loved Anya's look. And speaking of the look, I actually think that the looks were kind of the tiebreakers on a lot of things, because this judging was very... there were unexpected twists and turns. Now, we haven't talked about everybody's Snatch Games yet. So... really quick, let's talk about people that were safe, okay?
Yeah.
Acacia Forgot as Trisha Paytas. Now, I know you don't know the character, but I do know probably more than I'd even like to admit about Trisha Paytas, and I've seen her videos and things like that. Acacia was not giving you Trisha's personality at all. In my personal opinion, Acacia was giving you just Acacia, how like Acacia would be like, hey, blah, 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 and answer conversation. But she did not speak like Trisha Paytas. Trisha Paytas is like chaotic energy. Just Trisha Paytas herself. She's almost like a cartoon character. I was really disappointed in Acacia's performance. So this was kind of another week where I think Acacia was lucky that she was safe.
I could tell, even though I didn't know the character, I could tell that Acacia was middling.
Yeah. Let's talk about the David Lynch of the room, Lydia. Oh. Now, you are actually a David Lynch fan.
I am.
So you know David Lynch's personality probably way better than I. So I'm going to defer to you. What did you think about Lydia's Snatch Game performance?
It was just the problem with her David Lynch the overall problem, not getting into specific problems, but the overall problem is they had not tried doing this character before. The makeup looked, I'm sorry, the makeup looked like Theater 101.
Oh my gosh, I know.
And it was theater makeup. It wasn't like even drag in any way.
Yeah, I am constantly shocked that they keep picking old people characters, but it seems like they don't have a great understanding of how to do old people makeup.
Nope. And then...
So, yeah, that was a big miss for me, the makeup.
And then not about the fact that she was unprepared and that wig looked nothing like David Lynch's hair at all.
Yeah. That was a good call out because, the makeup wasn't giving, the hair wasn't giving.
It wasn't giving, and it also didn't look like him.
My problem, too, beyond the look, was in the actual performance didn't seem like David Lynch has very dry but like smart humor and is like kind of dropping like knowledge bombs on you. And instead we got a lot of like crotch jokes once again, just like lemon juice crotch or something, and then a butthole joke. I'm like, this is kind of what Acacia's giving me. They're just kind of being themselves in these characters. Yeah. So it's just nothing about the characterization or the look was giving me David Lynch.
No. And like, there are even just like simple things they could have done. They could have just like made bad David Lynch puns.
Right. There wasn't any specific references.
There was no specific references. She had him drinking a French cappuccino. He's David Lynch. He drinks black coffee.
See, I don't know.
I don't know. He's David Lynch. He drinks black coffee and he eats cigarettes.
Wow.
R.I.P. R.I.P. I don't think the cigarette eating killed him, though.
So let's talk about our last couple safe girls. Well, top safe tops, and then the last bottom of the week. So we had Corey as Big Ange, who is also R.I.P., speaking of, who's from Mob Wives, and so was a reality TV character. She had a very specific voice that she gives, and
I remember somebody a couple seasons, however many
Pearl.
Seasons. Yeah, I remember her doing them, which is the only way I knew the reference. I didn't watch that show.
And honestly, I was pleasantly surprised actually with Corey King's performance. This whole season, I've been expecting more from Corey, and I felt like this episode, whether it was her commentary and kind of commenting on a lot,
she had a good running commentary this episode.
Yes, she blossomed verbally this episode, absolutely. She also stood out, I think, maybe for the first time in a challenge. So this was actually a really good week for her.
Yeah.
Another person that had a good week this week was Sam Starr. So Sam Starr was could have had an issue with their character. They were giving you Kim Gravel. Is that it, Kim?
Yeah, Kim Gravel from QVC, and I guess she's a pageant coach.
Yeah, and so like having a character like that not everybody knows, and also probably just has some very, like, I don't know, a pageant coach has the tendency to maybe not be the most fun, character or something like that. Sam, once again, did a really great job.
Michelle even said she thought she was the most prepared of everybody there, because she thought, like, whether it was funny or not, she, like, was prepared to nail that character.
Definitely.
And I would agree with that.
Definitely. And the girls that could volley between, Rue and them and the other girls were the ones that did the best this week. Yeah. And Sam did a really good job. She had a couple moments with the other girls. She had a good back and forth with Rue. So overall, it was a big success for her this week.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. Now, somebody who did not have success this week, who was in the bottom with Lana and Arietti, was Crystal Envy, who actually was in the top last week and was saying actually earlier in the episode that, she thought that she should have won the ball the last week. So, yeah, Crystal was in the bottom for her Nicole Richie impersonation. That's not a word. What's it called?
Impersonation.
An impersonation. So she was in the bottom for her Nicole Richie, which... Where was Nicole Richie? That was not... That was like Nicole Richie on like Ambien. That was like...
Yeah, that was rough. Like they even said something as simple as like when we asked you which one of your dad's favorite hits, you said I don't know. You could have literally said anything and it would be funny, especially if it's not one of his songs.
Yeah.
Like there's that hello, is it me you're looking for?
That everybody knows.
What other songs are by him?
Oh, don't put me on the spot. You're supposed to be the person that knows about music.
See, that's the point I'm making is I don't know if I know any other. No. I'm sure there are Lionel Richie fans who are like furious
like,
right now.
So mad. Canceled.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Canceled.
I'm going to go listen to some Lionel Richie.
Yes.
I promise.
You need to go ahead and issue an apology to Lionel Richie.
I will.
After the filming of this episode.
I'll put it at the end.
Perfect. Yeah. So she just wasn't giving anything of the character. The character went nowhere. It was a very, very rough night. For Crystal, she did not have the same luck as actually one of the top girls, which was Lexi. We hadn't even talked about Gilbert Gottfried, really. So Lexi had a very interesting trajectory.
Yeah.
Gilbert Gottfried, I think, was a great choice. And honestly, I hope somebody else does it. Because I would love to see somebody just like nail Gilbert Gottfried. Oh.
Nail Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah, so charge to see that. But no, I would love to see somebody like really just like personify that. Lexi always
he's not that hard to do.
Right.
Either. It's you just got to really bring it up. It's
Oh, are you going to attempt it?
I was like, I'm going to attempt it right now.
Oh, just give me... You know, I will say, no offense to your impression.
No, plenty of offense to it.
Lexi actually had, when she would start doing the voice, I'm like, oh my God, she's going to sound exactly like it. I was really like thinking, oh my gosh, she's going to nail this character, the look, everything. Every time she would open her mouth, though, she'd choke. And she would literally break character and be like, oh my God, no. Oh my God.
Absolutely. The Ru girls, who especially have success with their Snatch Game characters, will continue to do those characters. I hope she tries again and she doesn't lean into the flop.
She needs the redemption of Gilbert Gottfried.
Like, she knows that the flop works because they told her that the flop works.
Wait, yes.
But I'd like to see it without.
So, yes, we have Lexi in the top because they basically said it rounded the corner and it was so bad that she's good. So Lexi, even though she was unable to do the Snatch Game as Gilbert Gottfried, her character, she's still in the top. And I'm really actually sad that we haven't had a chance yet to watch the Untucked because I can only imagine the thoughts, feelings, and opinions. Right.
Yeah.
So what did you feel about Lexi being in the top?
I
was surprised.
I loved it because the Gilbert Gottfried did crack me up.
Okay,
did sufficiently. I'm always looking for, because I do a lot of, we both edit, but I do a lot of the editing. I'm always looking for a good clip and that just sums everything up. And her going, all my life, shit. Perfect.
It is very like memeable.
Sums everything up.
Very memeable.
Yeah, sums everything up right now.
Yeah, so she got lucky. She had some good moments. And honestly, if anybody channeled Alyssa, remember I was like, these girls needed to learn how to channel Alyssa.
Yeah, she just got crazy.
Channeled Alyssa and just said, I'm going to just be cute and funny.
Yeah.
Lexi succeeded.
Yeah.
So she's in the top, much to the girls' shock, much to Lexi's shock. Now, okay, so this is what I was getting to earlier because we have the tendency to ADHD off into the next, valley together. But I really think this is where Runway comes down to a lot of these decisions. So I think Anya was in the top in one over Jules, who was also in the top. I think because of the runway. Okay. I loved Anya's runway. I thought it was stunning, amazing. I thought it had a really, really cool point of view, and the celebration of the nails and like the nail culture. Yeah. I just thought it was like an art piece. Yeah. So I personally think when it came down to who was going to win, Anya or Jules, while I loved Jules' look, and I love the storyline, I personally think that that's what gave Anya the win.
Yeah. Who was it that did the mime with the French tips?
Oh my God, that was Corey.
Corey. Okay.
I was not a fan of that look. I'm like, oh, she really is trying to do the Susie cheeks.
And I want to say that I am a fan of it.
Oh, I love that.
But,
yes, go off.
Except there was one thing that look was screaming for the French tips to be like 5 feet long.
Yeah. I know for the nailed it category, she said, I'm going to give you realness with my nails. Like, that's like me being like, nailed it.
But also just like so much body and thickness, and it was beautiful. Mm-hmm. And then these just small little French tips. And I get it. I get what she was doing because she explained it.
Yeah.
I just think if those French tips were comically large and they were like 5 feet long or something, but they were still immaculate at the end, I think that's what that character would have needed.
I agree with you. It definitely needed more. It needed to give the category a bit more.
But I liked that outfit.
Okay. Work. Okay. So getting back to the runway, I also think the Cher runway that Lexi did very much helped seal the deal for her to be in the top.
Oh, absolutely.
I thought that transformation was, I guess, and because like Cher, and like, I don't know if she invented those nails, but low-key, like Cher invented those specific nails that Lexi had. Like Cher did that, I think, for the first time on her show.
That's awesome.
So the reference just sent me. She looks so beautiful.
I like the choice because she already naturally has physical similarities to Cher.
Exactly. Lean into it.
Like it's a good choice. Go with a thing. Go with a thing you can do and a person that you already look like.
Yes, exactly. Now we're gonna talk about Miss Susie again. Personally, I actually really loved the Iron Maiden look.
I did too.
Susie did a good job this week on the runway, which I think she needed with the Snatch Game character, in my personal opinion, just kind of being boring and confusing. And it's good that she had a good runway. We skipped over this, but the girls honestly were trying to be real sisters to her in the workroom. And who was it? It was Corey and Sam.
Corey was like just right up in there.
Yeah, and Sam. Sam was the one that came over and was like, "Girl, let me talk to you." They literally were like, "Girl, it was not good." And between Susie having the delusion of my Snatch Game was incredible, and then that look on the runway when Susie was marked safe, a face crack happened. There was a face crack that happened.
It was a pretty epic one because she was really, really positive she had... Okay, so I wanted to bring up her Iron Maiden and just something that struck me strange in this episode.
Okay. Because I love the look.
I love the look too. Mm-hmm. And that's what's weird, is she called it a fictional torture device.
Oh.
I know that's not a big deal, but factually it's not. The thing that got me weirded out thinking about that, though, is how well she did it. And she got so many specific details about an actual Iron Maiden, like, correct. It looked good. It worked. It read.
Huh.
I'm like, there's no way you haven't seen an Iron Maiden. And, like, so I'm not sure if she's seen one, like, in pictures or at a museum or is forgetting or she thinks they're only from movies. I don't know, but... Iron Maidens are real.
Now, Sam Starr was in the top, and I think she got some very, very real and very also sisterly advice. There was much sisterly advice as she was giving Susie. The judges gave her some real advice, and that is they need to see more from her. Like, the looks are always very polished, and she's doing well. but what's going to take her to the next level is she needs to show a little bit of depth, a little bit more humanity. This is a critique that pageant girls have gotten in the past. Like, a very notable one is Jan from season 12. Like, it's basically like, girl, like, relax a little bit, have a little bit of fun. Like, don't take yourself so seriously.
That does seem to often be a thing with pageant girls, though. Like, just because I suppose, you know, being strictly pageants doesn't rely as heavily on being funny.
Right.
As so many other forms
it's
of drag
more of like
queen
the
does.
perfection of it
That,
all.
I guess, you know, it's harder to have a sense of humor when that's not what you maybe were doing as much.
Right, right. And, you know, arguably, Sam had one of my least favorite looks of the week, honestly, because
they had those
the surgery.
They had those, like, oh, they were okay, I was thinking of somebody else.
Yeah, no, Sam had, like, the nip tuck surgery look, which on Drag Race we have seen so many times.
Just, exactly. It's played out. It's the first thing people think of. They gotta stop going with the first thing they think of. They gotta, even if you go back to it, think of a second thing. Even if you go back to the first thing. Because this is not 2003. I'm not watching Party Monster for the first time. Be done with the medical look.
Yes. You know, and this has been something I've brought up, I think almost every Sit and Sip episode, is that we keep seeing references that I feel are exactly what you said. It's like the first thing you think of, and it's just a little too pedestrian in concept sometimes. And so, anywho, I was disappointed. Even though it was well executed, of course it was, I was just disappointed that she chose that look.
Yeah.
So our last top was Jules Sparkles, and like I said, I loved this look. And once again, we got to hear a little bit more about her bionic spine and everything that she had. It was an amazing look. It was beautiful. It was stunning. For some reason, the judges, you could tell just when they were like talking about her, they were like, she did a really good job and she's going to be really amazing someday.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I don't know if it was just, I think it was like a full package thing between the Snatch Game and Runway. I think the Runway really was doing some tiebreaker stuff this time.
I think I said earlier, but yeah, Jules Sparkles is definitely feels like the one to watch going down the rest of the season and just in general.
Just in general. She's a superstar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the bottom three of the week were Ariete, Lana Geray, and Crystal Envy, which overall I think those were the correct bottom three. They absolutely did the worst. Now, I want to talk about the runway looks because personally I want to talk about our favorite and our least favorite runway looks. And we got an awesome tip, an awesome comment and suggestion below last week where somebody's like, oh, you should do your top look of the week, which is your sip of the week, which I'm like, oh my God, that's so cute. And then your bottom look, which they suggested spit of the week. I think that's very funny. It's like graphic in a way, but I love it. Like, so I think we're going to do sip of the week and spit of the week. It's very funny. Until maybe we'll tweak the spit. Who knows? Spit and sip time. That's
I know,
so
right?
Silly. Okay.
It sounds really gross. It sounds like we're doing a Bob Burger and drinking out of the spit bucket.
Oh my God. So, but the bottoms of the week, while they had some amazing outfits, one of my favorite, spoiler alert, my sip of the week is from the bottom this week. The outfits could not save them. Well, I think the outfit actually did save my favorite, which is Ariete. So
yeah. Oh, 100%.
That was the shocking part of me.
If it weren't for that stunning cat outfit.
I truly believe that Crystal Envy was going to be safe. In my mind, I'm like, she was top last week. She's been super consistent. Wait, I was just very surprised that Crystal ended up being in the bottom. But I think, for me, it had to have been because Ariete's cat look was so incredible. It
was beautiful. And she
I love
said
it. It is my I touched my mic. It is my sip of the week.
Yeah, it was truly incredible. It's not my sip of the week, but it was truly amazing. And she said every single nail was different.
Yes. Oh my God. She's just so smart. She's just really struggling with comedy. She has a different sense of humor that is not really meshing with the judges, and overall, she's here to try it again next week, but I think if she can't get in, I don't know, just better with the comedy and more confident and have a more direct perspective in her comedy like she does on the runway, I just think she's gonna continue to struggle. So, but I loved her outfit.
It was great.
Now the other two, of course, were Crystal Envy and Lana Gervais. I thought Lana's dress was really pretty. It wasn't overly surprising. It was like the big hand wrapping around her. It was kind of giving me like Beyonce reference. Overall, I thought it was really pretty, but it was like a fine look.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And then Crystal, I actually really like Crystal's werewolf look. I thought it was pretty cool.
I did too.
Yeah.
I felt like at a few different times she looked more like she was from Cats.
She was giving like the new version of that new Cats that came out of her.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But overall, I really liked it. I liked the choice to do the brow.
Yeah.
The Neanderthal brow was an interesting choice.
Right. So my sip of the week, like I said, is Arietti's. My spit of the week is actually, and we disagreed a little bit about it, I gotta put Corey King in the bottom. For the Nailed It category, I think she was so outside of the category that I typically have an issue if the girls like don't deliver the category. So because of that, Miss Corey King is my spit of the week. So Jordan, who were your sips and your spits of the week?
My sip this week was definitely Jules.
Oh yeah,
I just really loved the outfit and the addition of the story about her back and her medical condition just really made me appreciate it even more. But it was just beautiful. And what exactly were those on the ends of her fingertips? Were those just eyelash wands?
No, I'm sure it was something to do with medical, like it was part of the whole spine.
I couldn't tell what it was, but it was super cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Super cool.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. Now, who was your spit of the week?
That would have to be Miss Lydia. That would have to be. What yeah, I agree with that. It was just the outfit itself felt kind of thrown together, and then the concept, like these nails are just long and limp, and
I agree with you though. I really disliked that look. I didn't understand it either because like if she's gonna have the long nails, fine, but why did she have the things coming out of the thing, you know?
I don't get it.
And then what also was frustrating is by the time she was done even explaining this character, we had watched her entire runway. Yeah.
I remember that because she was explaining up until literally the moment she walked around the corner. And I'm like, girl, stop.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, let's talk about the lip sync. Let's talk about this lip sync. The lip syncs just continue, in my opinion, to be a little lackluster.
Yeah.
So, you know, Ariette was safe. The bottom was between Lana and Crystal. It was better than last week's lip sync for sure. I was gagged. I was really surprised that Lana got to stay with it being her multiple times in the bottom, and Crystal first time in the bottom, and Crystal was the one to go. How did you feel about that?
Well, your track record, that is solid, and for that reason, I can absolutely see it. But it just felt like they both started the song not giving enough, but only Lana realized it. Because Lana at some point was like, okay, I better try a few tricks here and there. Whereas it felt like Crystal stayed at the same level. It felt like she thought she was giving enough and was not giving nearly.
So there was a couple, like you said, a couple tricks got thrown in. Lana lost her wig. So typically if you lose your wig, that's like a death sentence on Drag Race. But yeah, so
She
Lana
with
stayed,
confidence
though.
put it back on.
Yeah, Lana stayed. I know. Maybe it was the fact that she put that wig back on her head. I don't know. So I want to hear what all of y'all think about that lip sync, the tops and the bottoms. Were you surprised? Did you think that Jules should have won? You know, did you think that Crystal should have been safe? Should have Ariette been on the bottom? What's happening? It was all over the place. And, you know, even though this Snatch Game wasn't a Snatch Game that I'm probably going to, like, be thinking about and be like, wow, what a great Snatch Game. Overall, I think season 17, I say it every week, but it's true. They just give you great TV. It's all over the place. And I think the production helped.
Yeah, absolutely.
The production helped this time for sure.
Absolutely.
Now, next week, it is going to be another very iconic Drag Race challenge, which is the Rusical. They are going to do the Wizard of Oz, essentially.
Yeah, but they're going to do it the Wiz.
Yes,
which
like
is
the Wiz.
Great. Very, very, very traditional RuPaul of them to do the Wiz.
Exactly, yeah. I am so excited. The Rusical is fun because the girls that maybe struggled in Snatch Game have a shot to redeem themselves. Yeah. In the Rusical, I think specifically are, speaking of the theater kids and the Broadway people, wake up. This is your time to shine, especially if you got saved this week.
Yeah.
So, should be good.
Iron Maidens are real.
Yeah. Well, on that note, it's time for y'all to grab a sip. It is time to watch some of my reactions to the best parts of this week's episode. Yeah, Lana better have a good week this week because she has not really been doing... She hasn't been standing out. Tori, for all of her, you know, shade talking, I hope she can, like, shine. Oh, talking shade, but she needs to shine. I mean, yeah, definitely the overpraising because that lip sync was boring. See that for her. Little Shop of Horrors is actually like my favorite musical, so I'm okay with this choice. Oh, she's like, I've already one step as her. Yes, I'm so excited for Gilbert Godfrey. Oh my God. Yes, Dollars and Tears. Y'all, I watched Dollars and Tears like the very first season. And I'm not going to lie, it was entertaining. And then when you really think about it, you're like, maybe I shouldn't be watching this and being entertained by this. These poor kids. She's got them in every color. Rue's going to go through her stuff. Oh my God, Rue's going through her stuff. There it is. That's the shoe. Okay, but how about you talk to Susie Toot about her character heel, too? Rue really came in to stir up some shit today. Hilarious. Well, you can't come up here with one joke. I thought she said that she was going to be funny. Wow. I'm so excited. Oh my God. I'm so excited. They told her, hey, they're being real though. They told her what's up. They're like, girl, that was not a cute Snatch Game. That was crazy. Good. I'm glad she had a good moment. Oh, yes. Come on, Cher. Yes. Yes. Because Cher invented those nails. Yeah. She's still trying to tell the story and the runway's over. Yes. Anya wins. Oh, so well deserved. I love that. Wow. What? I'm a little shook that Ariette is safe. Woo! Oh, not the wig. I know. Oof. And I was like, oop. Just throw that back on. Whoa. What? Oh my God. I'm actually really surprised. Because this was her second time in the bottom. And now Crystal's going home. welcome back, everybody. I hope y'all enjoyed that. And I really, really hope that you've enjoyed this week's episode of Scarlett Syanide's Sit and Sip. Jordan, boo, oh my God. Thank you so much for joining us today. Did you have a good time?
I did.
As I strike you.
Ow.
Did you have a good time?
Yes.
On Sit and Sip?
I did. I did. I enjoyed being on this side of the camera more than I expected to. Like you told people, we were just watching the episode earlier, and I was like, I have some thoughts. What if I was on there?
I know. I love it.
It's been a blast. I hope I can do it again.
Yes.
I would love to do it again.
I know I'd love to have you back. I'm sure the people would love to have you back as well.
But then also on the other side of the camera where I spend most of my time, we've got all this cool stuff we're working on. We're going to come out with
yes.
we just had the Isaac play.
Yeah, sit and play. Brand new.
Seems like people are enjoying that.
Yes.
I'm really glad about that. We might do Poppy Playtime too next time.
That's my hope. I'm very excited about that.
Even if we don't do it next time, we're gonna do it.
Absolutely. We at School for Sexy People.
Yes.
We have some new stuff coming out for that soon.
We're gonna be going to the zoo, honestly.
Yeah.
I can't.
Oh, you're just gonna yes,
we're going to the zoo. I'm really excited that we're just gonna go to the zoo.
Oh, I'm excited. Yeah, it's gonna be zoology class. So we'll make it educational.
We're just like
for the sexy people.
We're just still we're so happy everybody's been watching.
Yeah.
So we're trying out some different stuff. I was also thinking like we've got some movies coming up, but we could. If one of them weren't good enough, if we want to talk about a movie.
Yeah, we're going to go see some movies. We're going to go see The Monkey. I'm excited about that.
I'm excited about The Monkey.
We're excited to see Heart Eyes. So we're doing a bunch of stuff. So yeah, hey, if there's anything that y'all want to see us talk about or hear us talk about, put it in the comments below.
We need to go see Mickey 17 as well.
Oh, yeah. That movie looks really good.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Any final thoughts to say to the people? Where can the people, if they want to talk to you about VHS tapes, which I forgot to bring up, but yeah, all of that, do you have, they can follow you on Instagram, right?
Yes, on Instagram and on Threads, it's voidhighschool_tapes. Because I mostly use it to post tapes.
Yeah, VHS tapes.
For sale. So I know people have been enjoying looking at my tapes. And I love that. I love showing my tapes. So, follow me on Instagram if you want to occasionally see tapes. And I just use that as my social media account anyway.
There you go. I love that.
Yeah.
Yay. Well, thank you again for joining us.
Of course. It was a lot of fun.
Yay. All right. Well, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. We can't wait to see you next week. We'll be here every Monday for Scarlett Syanide's Sit and Sip. Enjoy Scarlett Syanide's Sit and Play. And look forward to some new School for Sexy People. Until next time, divas, take care of yourselves. Bye.
Bye.